His mother died here in childbirth. His father was murdered in Sudan. So he has no father and no mother. All he has is gunmen. One of the things you notice is just how many kids there are. Because most of the men are missing or dead, 90% of the refugees are women and children.
Can you see in there? You see yourself? You can almost see yourself in there, can't you?
Scott Kelly now, back from reporting in Sudan.
The United Nations calls it the greatest crisis in the world today. The United States calls it genocide. It's happening in the African nation of Sudan, and we went there to see for ourselves. What we saw and what you will see tonight is evidence of a government-backed campaign to wipe out a race. There are at least 50,000 dead and 1 million on the run. It all started a year and a half ago in a part of Sudan called Darfur. Rebels looking for a measure of freedom revolted against Sudan's authoritarian Islamic government. The government apparently decided to end the revolt by trying to wipe out all of the native Africans in Darfur, to clear the territory for Arabs. We should tell you that some of the evidence of the killing that we found is hard to watch, but we will start with the survivors. They are the innocent victims pouring across the border of Sudan into Chad.
There are 10 refugee camps, much like this one, all up and down the Chad-Sudan border. Some are larger, some are smaller. This camp has about 19,000 refugees, but in the entire region there are 189,000 refugees, and the United Nations is planning for another 100,000 on top of that. This camp is the farthest north, which means it's in the driest part of the Sahara, and walking around this place, one thing strikes you. If this is better than where they came from, imagine what they're fleeing.
This is one of their villages burning in Sudan. The Sudanese government has unleashed African Arabs called the Janjaweed to wipe out all of the tribal blacks. The name Sudan, ironically, is Arabic, meaning land of the blacks. But the Janjaweed is rewriting that history in blood. Janjaweed, by the way, has a translation too. It means evil on horseback.
What has been happening to these people over the last 17 months or so?
They've been subjected to one of the most brutal campaigns, ethnic cleansing, that Africa has ever seen.
John Prendergast was the Director of African Affairs at the National Security Council in the Clinton White House. He's now with the International Crisis Group, a human rights organization, documenting the disaster in Sudan and neighboring Chad.
A government-made hurricane hit Darfur over the last 17 months using these Janjaweed militias, and that the human debris is washed up here on the shores of Chad.
The arid shores of one of the most forbidding regions on earth. The refugees are from Sudan's western province, Darfur, a region the size of Texas. The ones Prendergast calls lucky are survivors, many of whom were chased across the desert border into Chad by the Janjaweed.
The Janjaweed are like a grotesque mixture of the mafia and the Ku Klux Klan. These guys have a racist ideology that sees the Arab population as the supreme population that would like to see the subjugation of non-Arab peoples. They're criminal racketeers that have been supported very directly by the government to wage the war against the people of Darfur.
Just look at the battlefield in this picture from space. It's one large Darfur village. Nearly every home and building is gone. There are almost 600 villages, and nearly 400 of them look like this. Survivors say the attacks usually start at dawn, with bombs falling from planes of the Sudanese Air Force.
And then here come the Janjaweed on camel or on horseback. They come rolling into the town, shooting and torching the village, often bringing women to the side, raping women indiscriminately. And in order to ensure that the destruction is complete, the government either sends ground forces to oversee the operation or the attack helicopters, which often are the most deadly things.
They arrived on horseback, killed my husband,
Here. Wanted to show you that clip because, for one reason, you get to see what exactly is happening. It paints a picture for you to understand sort of the background and the history of this genocide, for you to really understand what Guy experienced, and hundreds and thousands alike. So I'd like to introduce to you my amazing sister, who has done amazing, amazing work, saved Guy's life practically, inspired me to do this whole event and all the fundraisers we've had. She's truly my biggest role model and inspiration to March Your Talk.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So one piece of this story, one result of the Darfur genocide is that thousands of refugees have fled into Israel. So I didn't really know much about this until I ended up moving there. And there's over 50,000 refugees, and majority of them are Darfuris. And it's really an unbelievable community that's formed there. They receive a temporary safety from the Israeli government, and there's not. So I ended up volunteering in a nonprofit there, where we help provide social services to the African refugee community. The nonprofit I worked at was the African Refugee Development Center in South Tel Aviv. And if anyone's been to Israel, South Tel Aviv has really turned into this country, this like a little Africa. It's unbelievable. There's languages all over the neighborhood, on posters, and it's just it's really hit the country with this flow of refugees. So I ended up working on immigration issues, recognizing it's not a durable solution for the refugees to stay in Israel, and I worked on sponsorship and family reunification programs to help them leave. And it is really, really hard to leave because a lot of them don't have any travel documents. And I ended up, while I was volunteering that meeting, Guy, who helped translate for me because a lot of people didn't know how to speak English or Hebrew. And so Guy was and is this amazing person who has always dreamed of studying and teaching other Darfuris about peace and helping the world be a better place. So Guy and I became really good friends. He wasn't my client. He really helped me and volunteered in Israel. And he called me one day when I moved back. I lived there for 7 months. He called me and he goes, "Tamar, guess what? I got into the College of Lake County in Grace Lake, Illinois." And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And I couldn't really believe it because when I was working on these immigration issues, it was nearly impossible for them to leave Israel because it's just so hard to get a travel document. And a lot of other countries don't want to accept the refugees into their homes. So it really was a miracle. So when Guy called me, I couldn't believe it. I said, okay, when I see you at my door, I'll know that it's real. And he showed up with $15 in his pocket and only warm weather clothes in the middle of January. So you could imagine his shock with how cold it was. And since then, we've really grown really close, and Guy's become a close part of our family. And I helped him get situated, and I could never have done this without the support of my family and colleagues and friends. And it's been a journey. So since January, look how far he's come. He started school, he's getting acclimated to the cold weather, and he's almost done with his first semester, and we're seeking asylum, and he's this inspiring person that I'm honored to introduce you all to. And we'll take questions at the end, but I wanted to say one thing. With each step forward in helping Guy and other people in need, we're all as a community dismantling prejudices, advancing human security, and fostering a more caring community. What I've learned is that by all of us working together, even for one person, we're making a change, all of us, to here. You know, you're all here, which is sending a message that you're interested and you're caring and you want to make a difference. And it's just really rewarding, so thank you all for coming. With that being said, I'd love to introduce you to Guy Josif and give him a loud round of applause.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Hi. You know what? Give me that one. Thanks for having me, I can say. Thank you, Wisconsin. Thank you, Tamar. Thanks, everyone who participated to help in this amazing event. It's my pleasure to be here. I think, as you know, I'm Guy. I'm the person who lived genocide in Darfur. I was born in Darfur. I grew up there. I go to school there, and I was just there, like, you know, living life in my country and helping my family further. And in early 2003, like, there was genocide, as you just saw what is going on there. My village was attacked by Janjaweed. Janjaweed is like the Nomadic Arab tribe that they get support from Sudan government or in African who are living there in Darfur. So my village had been attacked, and then I just escaped. I didn't know where I was going, but I just got a chance and I was able to escape. On my way to nowhere, so I was able to meet some guys from the United Nations, and they just asked me, where are you going and what is happening and what is that smoke? I just explained that my village is burning and I left my family there. I don't know what is going on there. They told me not to go back with them, and I said, no, I can't, because there was another attack that happened in the past close by my village, and I didn't want to put my life in risk because it wasn't safe for me to go back. They hid me in a car, to their car, and then like they went back to my village to see who was there, and they checked it, but they didn't find my family, and they, you know, just find some people dead, some just escaped, some injured, and they were like shot. So they came back to the car, and I was with them. They took me to their office in Khartoum. I was with them there. They supported me to go to school there. I started my schooling to the school called Evangelical Living Basic School, that's in Grave Wave. Continually to the Young Men Christian Institution Center. Then from there I converted my religion, and that's why I'm Guy now. From there I just transferred to the high school called Abraham High School. So I sit for my exam and I passed it. So I tried to go to university, which is named University, and that's in Khartoum. But because of my race and because I was from Darfur, like Sudan government plan also the Darfuri student and South Sudan student, they don't have a right to get knowledge. And I was asking that question to myself, and I still ask that question. Then I have been arrested, like Sudan government, like create kind of group is, I can call them as well Janjaweed, but inside the city. So whenever you're from Darfur or South Sudan, you have to first challenge, go to prison for no reason, and that happened for me like 4 times. I've been tortured and beaten for no reason, just because of I was from Darfur and working with the United Nations, and they wanted to know what kind of work or what I was doing to the United Nations. Then from there, the last time I have been arrested, I proceeded to leave Sudan. Like if I don't wait, so I will miss my life. And then like I had to make a plan to leave Sudan so that to have or to seek for a better life or to have a place where I can do something and bring change to my country and make a better place for everyone. Then I fled to Egypt. From Egypt, I spent like 9 days. Then to Israel. We were 23 guys. 13 of us were killed in the border by Egyptian border patrol. 10 of us were successfully entered to Israel. I went to the Kitzur, that's Negev. Negev is the desert in Israel. I was there for 28 days in prison. Then I met a judge, so he released me. Then I went to the city, Tel Aviv, that's where I met Tamar. And I tried to go to school there, but it was really hard. It was really hard for me to go to school. But I was also involved in the human rights activities and doing my best to help other people and show like the stories to those who they don't know about genocide. And, like, you know, to explain them my dream, what I want to do and how and who I am. And that's what I have been doing. And through that I was able to meet Tamar at the organization called ARDC, that stands for African Refugee Development Center, plus other humanitarian organizations. And then like I just suddenly received in 2011, I received a phone call that my brother was alive and he made it to Israel too. And I was like unbelievable. So I went and I met him at the Levinsky Garden, and he's the only person that I live in my family that is alive, and I'm so happy that I have one brother who's alive. And after that, like my dream is just to go to school and study, you know, human rights and help other people. That's all what I want. And then I made plan to apply to schools in the United States and other countries. Then I applied to 63 different universities in the United States, and I came positively. I have been accepted to the college of Lake County, that's in Grace Lake, and that's the college that I am attending now. And I just told to Tamar that, okay, Tamar, I'm going to be in this state soon. And he said, no, shut up. And then, and then it was amazing. So I just came and met her again, and here I am now. So thanks for having me. I'm really excited to answer any question you guys have. And I'm happy to give you my experience that you may want to know, like, just any question you have, I'm happy to answer. Yeah.
So if anybody has a question, please don't hesitate to ask. It can be anything from Guy's personal story to what's going on in Darfur to Israel, asylum, anything. Does anyone want to start off? Yes.
So what were you doing in I guess, Sudan, before all of this came to your village and it started to change and you had to flee?
You mean Darfur?
Darfur, okay.
Oh, in Darfur I was helping. I went to school there, but I had to stop school. I had to stop, attending school for the financial problem, and my family weren't able to. They did not able to afford me to go to finish my studies, and then I started then. But the whole my life I was helping my family in the farm and taking care of my other brothers. So.
Okay. Yeah. And how old were you when all this started?
Honestly, like, because of the lack of education in Darfur, if you ask me now, I don't know how old am I. I mean, it's a shame to say, but that's a reality. That's what it is. I don't know how old am I, because of what you just said. The people don't go to school, and the date of birth is kind of, We just don't keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have birth certificates.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
How did everybody in Israel treat you when you first arrived there?
The IDF was really welcoming me. Not me, but everyone who crossed the border was really welcomed by IDF, and then they give you water, they ask you like if you're healthy, you're safe, and then they take you to the camp that's in Negev. You spend there a couple of days, and they release you to the city. It was really welcoming.
How were you able to get from first Darfur to Khartoum and then Khartoum to
Can you repeat that again, please?
How were you, like what modes of transportation and who helped you to get from first Darfur to Khartoum, Khartoum to Egypt, and then Egypt to Israel?
Okay, first from Darfur, there was, as I mentioned, the United Nations that I used to work with them. I met them in Darfur, and because of that situation, they were able to help me to stay with them, and then they took me with them to their office. And from Sudan to Egypt, I just got a ticket, and I took a train to Egypt. From Egypt, there are, I spent 9 days finding the person who could can take me to Israel. And there are some Bedouin guys. I paid them $300 right, and then they took me to Israel. So it was really dangerous because, like, the Bedouin guys, they kill African as well in the border. They take their organs and they sell it to the terrorist group. It's called Hamas. If you guys know Israel, it was really dangerous as well. But I was lucky that I was able to survive in that critical situation.
And do the Bedouins travel in vehicles, or how do they travel? So that, did they hide you?
Bedouin, they are kind of, also they are Arab tribe, they're living in the desert mostly, and they take you by car ride. And then like in the border, like you just have to run and cross the border. They
And
just
just
take
hope
you
you don't
close
get
by border.
shot.
What?
And just hope you don't get shot.
I mean, it just, depends how fast you are. yeah, that's
And
how
is this like, do you try to do this under the cover of darkness?
Yes, yes. Like when you want to go to Israel, like you have, the way that we enter to Israel is like, it was 7 o'clock in the evening, and it was, how do you call it, Ramadan.
Yep.
Like the Egyptian border patrol, like they were sitting and having a Ramadan dinner or breakfast, I don't know. So that was the kind of chance for us, and we were able to cross the border. Yeah.
You are something else. You are so brave.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm happy that you guys having me and giving you my experience.
Yeah.
I have a question, guys.
Please.
What has it been like coming to Chicago? What's your experience been like? Because it's so different than Israel and in Darfur. What's your favorite thing about Chicago?
People are nice. Yeah, I mean, and that's everywhere in the United States. Like, but in Chicago, people are nice. But there was a really funny question for me from my friends that I was always telling them that I'm going to go to school in Chicago, and they said, make sure you have a big car. But yeah, I came with really, summer clothes I didn't have, and thank you, Tamar, for helping me in that part. Yeah.
Guy, how was the train ride, your first train?
Can you repeat that?
How was the train in Chicago?
It's really noisy. Yeah, it's noisy, but yeah, it's fine.
Here. Yeah, you can go. John.
How many languages do you know? And how
I do
many do
speak
you want
4
to know?
different languages, and I do want to speak 4 more languages.
How many do you speak?
I do know 4 different languages.
Which ones?
Okay, 4 is my mother tongue. I do speak Hebrew, and I do speak Arabic, and I know English. maybe want more. I mean, I want to learn more different for different languages, and that's my dream. And I will do it.
What's the next one?
Spanish. Yeah, because I'm living in the United States.
Yeah, in the back.
Yeah.
What's your brother's situation like right now? Is he still in Israel?
Yeah, he's still staying in Israel. Yeah, he's safe. He was shot while he was crossing the border, and also what he saw in Darfur. Also, like he had a psychology problem, but I took care of that before I came to this day. So he's healthy now. Yeah, it's okay.
And, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Can you explain what prison was like today? You said what countries were you arrested in?
In Sudan.
In Sudan. Did they like ask you? Did they interrogate you a lot? You said you were tortured. Like, can you explain a little more, like how?
The Sudanese president is what you're trying to know. How they treated me while I was here.
Right.
They beat you like cables like that, and they just put there's kind of a piece of cloth. They put water on it, and then like they beat you with that. Sometimes they put like even liquids. I've seen like a lot of people from South Sudan were killed in the prison, but nobody knows that. And even some they do, but nobody cares about that.
What's their like main purpose? Are they trying to get information?
Right. That's what they want to know. They asked me about that a lot, but I didn't, respond anything because I just believe what I am. And
right.
Yeah.
So you said you study, or you're interested in studying human rights, right?
That's my dream, right.
What do you hope to do with that?
I want to help other people, to change. My dream is like, just to live peace, and what has just happened, I want to use it as an experience and give it to people so that to help and, to live as a human, as we're born, because we're not different. That's what I believe, and I want to help with that. That's all what I want.
What has surprised you the most since you've gotten here?
Yeah.
What has been the most surprising being here?
Cold. It was very cold, right? And yeah.
Snow.
Oh. Yeah, it's snow. Like I didn't expect that I would see like a lot of snow. Small pieces of snow. I was just staring at it. And then she was like, "Guy, this is nothing. Just wear a mask." And then like, so yeah, I just wear like a mask. After I moved to my school, I was like biking, and I saw a lot of snow. When I couldn't bike, and then I said, "Wow, Tamar, you were right." Yeah, that was really surprising.
A couple of questions. One is, psychologically, how has all of your experience and what you've seen and what you've endured affected you?
Affected me, I just compare the living life in my country and here, and also the other parts of the continents that I have been. Like, I just compare that life, and I said that like, I have to do something and change, bring, change my country, make a better place for everyone. That's how I feel. And I also like, a lot of people don't know what is going on in some part of the world. That's what I like. And yeah.
And the second question is, tell me about the whole food experience here, because that's got to be completely different for you.
Food is what you said?
Food.
Oh, okay.
Like, what do you like to eat now?
My favorite food while I was in Chicago was pizza and how do you call it? Chuksis? It's like hot dog?
Hot dog. Oh, sausage.
Sausage, thank
You like sausage?
Yeah, that's right. Do you eat? Right. No. Yeah.
What was the American relief effort like in Darfur? I know you hear on TV, we're helping Darfur, donate money here. What was it like on the ground there from
American, I really appreciate they do help, But in this point, the United Nations is not responsible enough for that. Like nowadays, you can give that. It's like 10 years now. 10 years, people are dying. And everyone, hearing the news what is going on. And a lot of Americans, they do their best, especially students when they travel abroad. They do their best and trying to show, what is going on in some part of the country. And, but, not everyone is responsible to help. Or people, they said, this is too much, and just so hard to do it for them. So yeah.
I think there's a question here. What is the process of seeking asylum that you're going through now?
Well, I can't go back to my country. This is clear because it's nothing there now, and I can't go back to Israel because while I was leaving Israel, at the embassy, they asked me if I wanted to go back to Israel, and if I said yes, I want to come back to Israel, I had to show them re-entry visa, and I couldn't get that from the state. And I told them that I want to go to the United States and stay, so then I have to go back to my country. Oh. Right, I seek asylum through the lawyer, and what the purpose of that is what you ask.
No, how do you go about doing that? To seeking asylum here? What is the process with the lawyer that you're going through?
Can you please
here.
a little bit louder? Please.
Sorry. So there's a nonprofit in Chicago called Heartland Alliance, which helps new immigrants in Chicago. It's a great organization. They have social services all throughout the city. And an arm of Heartland Alliance is called the National Immigration Justice Center. And they do a screening process. So if you think you have a refugee claim, you can go do an interview process with them. And if they accept you, they partner with all these different law firms in Chicago. And so Guy went through the screening process and they accepted his case, which means they believe, this is a credible organization, they believe he has a refugee claim and he deserves asylum in the US. So they partnered with a law firm who's taking it on as pro bono, and from here on out the lawyer is helping him with the asylum process through lots of interviews and lots of paperwork. So it could be between 6 months to a year. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thanks. So yeah. Sorry, I didn't understood different. Yes.
Yeah. Do any of the refugees go to the neighboring African countries? Do any of them go to Kenya or Ethiopia or anything?
I haven't been there actually, but I heard that yes, some refugees go there.
Okay, so one other thing is, Guy's one, like I was trying to say before, but I think I was too nervous. He's one piece of the story, one person who escaped the Darfur genocide. There's 80% of the 50,000 refugees in Israel are Darfuri.
Doesn't they get a green card?
No. There's 50,000 total refugees in Israel, I think.
No, in general, the
majority, it's either Darfuri or Eritrean. I don't know the statistics, but are Eritrean or Darfuri refugees in Israel. So it's a lot of people. But there are people who fled to other countries in Africa, so that was a good question. Or if they ended up in a refugee camp in another country, they could have gotten resettled through the UN to the US, to Canada, to New Zealand, to Norway, and so all over. So they didn't necessarily come here, but there's a great 60 Minutes episode also that just aired a couple weeks ago that you can all look up, talking about the Lost Boys of Sudan and their journey to the US, but they didn't always have to go through Israel. This was just his personal experience of fleeing, and he just by chance sort of floated through and ended up here, if that makes sense. But they've all sort of had their own individual journey.
How long has this journey been for you? Is that, did you say 3 years before you actually got here?
From Darfur to here, I left Darfur in 2003. Then I was in Sudan up to 2008. The date that I left Sudan, that was 5th of August 2008. That was the day that I left Sudan. I spent 10 days in Egypt, then the rest of my life in Israel, and I arrived in the United States on 17th of December 2012. So, yeah.
What was the hardest part of, or the most difficult part of your entire journey, and what was the most rewarding?
Then the most difficult part that I been through is being in Sudan. That was the most difficult because it's like when you're walking the street, you're scared and you're moving like you're not safe. So, and that's how it is. And it's still going on now, even. So yeah.
You were there for 5 years?
In Sudan, since 2003 up to 2008. So.
Great.
I left Darfur in 2003. I went to Sudan up to 2008. Then I left Sudan, like on August 5th to 2008.
Can you explain your feelings before you went into Egypt? Like obviously that you said 10 people died when you were trying to cross Egypt to
13
people died.
Right.
Were you, obviously, I would have been frightened. Like, can you explain your feelings right before?
I feel like, because I was the second person into Israel, I was following the first person who got in there. And when I, get in Israel and I saw that like 13 people were not there, I was, trying to feel like I have to go back and, take them in. So they don't have to go back. They don't have to be in Egypt. So, but it was hard. Then, so another friend of mine, his name is Darfur, he just catch me and he said, you don't have to go back. So put me in Israel. And, he was talking to me and then IDF came and they helped us. So yeah.
Was it like amazing when you finally crossed the border? You're like, wow, like I finally. Because did you probably like ran?
For me, like at the moment that I crossed, I was I'm almost there, like to achieve my dream.
Right.
But then I saw what was going on behind me to the other guy. I, just felt sad.
Mm-hmm.
So I made it and they didn't. So I feel like they did have a dream to as well, but they couldn't do it.
So the rest of your family, do you?
I wish I could know that, but
Oh.
I don't know if they're alive.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to mention the first time I had ever heard of the genocide that was happening over there was George Clooney and his father, which has been, I'd say a good 5 to 7 years ago, that they brought it to the attention, I believe, of the American people more than any news or any of that type of reporting. So that was the first time I had ever heard of it.
Genocide is something that, according to me, what I just saw is something that, as a human, you can't expect that to happen to any kind of living thing. Like to kill human and animals together and throw them. And the most dangerous thing is like now in Darfur there are the group called they were in Mali. They were getting in Darfur, and like there was kind of a conference like last week with in the another Arab state. They were meeting in Qatar, and they're saying that they're meeting to create to think and change the life in Darfur, but that's not true. That's totally opposite of what they're thinking. Like all the support that they're getting is just used against my people there. that's the most interesting. I hope that we should all stand up and try to do our best to support this family. So.
Could you talk? Could you talk a little bit about your own personal experiences and confrontations with the Janjaweed, and maybe a little bit about what's going on in Darfur and the situation right now?
Janjaweed are kind of devil in a horse's back, and Janjaweed they are like, as the person here mentioned, that they're kind of mafia, and that's true. They don't believe you are the human, and you are different from them. They don't care who you are. They just care. Even those who they're helping, the United Nations, they used to have difficulties in what they were giving in Darfur. So it wasn't fair because generally they have Sudan government support them, and they just don't know the value of the human. They just care and person. Anything they see in front of them. So while I was the way that they attacked my village, like we were as we are sitting now, and I'm like suddenly they appear and they said like stop, and then we as a family we stop. They just started doing. Everyone was there in our compound. I was beaten. My hand was broken here, and I got shot here, and so yeah, that's how it went. It was a really bad experience that these things that I have to work on that through things.
First of all, I just want to say thank you again for being here. You've been an inspiration to my daughters and to our family and to me, and it's just proud to see you standing up in front of everyone today here and in the church this morning and the temple, and you've touched a lot of people already in this short weekend. But I wanted to ask you, now that you are here and you're looking forward and not necessarily backwards, what's your goal in terms of finishing school and then your next step after that? Where do you envision your life in maybe 4 years from now or a year from now? What's the next step?
I'll be in school. Yeah, I'll be in school. And thank you, by the way. What I'm doing is through your daughters, and they really helped me. And this beauty, like having two wonderful daughters, and they were able to help me, which point. So I'm so excited. I don't know how I could, or to express my feeling. But there is a day that I will pay you guys back, all the people, and I believe that I will do it one day. I don't know which day, but
you have already. You have already. Yeah.
Yeah. But I will be in school, and I hope that at that 4 years I will do something to change, to bring peace in my country, and just to make everyone happy and bring peace.
Okay, I just want to say one thing that guy always tells me is one day he'll speak at the UN. So if anybody has a connection at the UN, please let me know.
Thank you guys so
Thanks
much.
for having me.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming. I am blown away by the turnout of this event. So I've been working ever since Tamar introduced Guy to me, and I heard about all the amazing work she did in Israel and is continuing to do. I was just stunned. I couldn't believe, I always admired my sister, but she went a step and beyond. I know you're sick of compliments, but I don't care. They need to know. Meeting Guy honestly changed my life. He put everything into perspective. He showed me what's important, and family's important, peace is important, and the little things don't matter. I want to thank you for coming here to Madison, your first time seeing a big campus. We loved having you. I know you will be in our lives forever. You are our brother now, and we love you. I want to thank individually people who have made this event happen. Of course, my family, who have supported me this whole semester to make this a success. Jonathan, my mom, my dad, Tamar, of course, God. And then Katie Johnson, who is the president of Amnesty International. She was the first one to respond to my email when I asked if anyone would be interested in an event like this. And I was trying to treat you to coffee, and she bought first. But honestly, I couldn't have done it without you, the support you gave me, and thank you so much. And I admire you. And she got a job in Africa, so she's going there. She's doing great things. AJ, if you can, where are you? In the way back. AJ is the assistant director of Wood's Distinguished Lecture Series. He has definitely supported this event. He has made this a success, helped me with all the planning, the logistics. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the meetings we've had, and thank you. Dana and Shira, who are from Hillel, you guys, honestly, I love you. I met you recently, and I already love you. You helped me so much. Honestly, thank you so much for everything. Eden, who has helped me at Hillel. Hillel is a huge co-sponsor. Thank you for your help. I appreciate it. I'm excited to go to Israel with you this summer. My friends, Dee and Chanel especially, you helped me throughout this whole thing. So once again, no more thank yous, but you know who you are. I just want to mention, we have in the back a lot of information on these specific orgs that have helped make this possible. So if you are interested in Amnesty International, who does all human rights, social activism, amazing things, talk to them. We have MadPAC. Alex is the president of MadPAC. That's Israel Advocacy. She's amazing. She's helped me so much. Everyone who helped with fundraisers, we've already raised over $2,000. So thank you guys who participated in that. Most importantly, you guys have flyers all on your seats. I hope if you didn't get one, you come find me because I'm going to give you one. It says how to donate. So basically, we're raising money for Guy's college education, and his food, and his rent, and everything, so he doesn't have to worry about it. It would mean a lot if you could, we've got donation bins in the back here. We appreciate everything. There's also, we have a Fundly account where you can do it online. Literally, it goes right into his pocket and to his college tuition. So thank you again so much. Please give another round of applause for Guy. Also, check out our Facebook page. I probably have said this to you 100 times, but it's called Please Help a Darfuri Refugee. You'll get updates on Guy's life from now until forever, because we're going to be supporting him forever. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you so much.
No good.